It's Joe with Black Box Silver and Bronze. I've been doing some hunting, so I got some great books to share with you. Let's check them out. Hey, comic addicts, it's Joe with Black Box Silver and Bronze, and I've got some great comics to share with you. I found some new stores, and so I got a big stack of comics here that are primarily from two new stores that I've dipped into. And so let's get into it. So first, there's just some new comics that I picked up on New Comic Book Day, and this is Avengers War Across Time. This is issue number 1, and this is issue number 2. And I think issue number 3 comes out March 15th. And I'd recommend this to you. This takes place after Avengers number 11, and it kind of continues the story where Avengers 11 left off with Kang had sent a robot of SpiderMan to trick the Avengers. And so this continues the story, and it's really well done. So I don't pick up too many new comics, but I really like that. So I'm looking forward. I hope it doesn't jump the shark because it's good so far.
Jump. There he goes.
All right, so I went out to this store in Gallatin, Tennessee called Old Town Records and Comics. It's in Gallatin, Tennessee. And I found it on the way back from a trip to Kentucky. And I really liked the store, the owner. He had some great stuff. So I went back. And then on the way home from there, I got a bunch of books there. And then on the way home from there, I just put in Google, find me comic stores on the way home, and I found this place called Collect Company. It's in an antique mall in Lebanon, Tennessee. And so I raided them, and they had a lot of dollar boxes, a lot of low-cost comics. Then they had some higher-end comics up front. And I think it was, if you spent $25, it was 20% off. And if you spent more than $50, was 30% off. So I didn't know that till I got up to the register. So I left some stuff behind, but I got a pretty good deal with a bunch of 30% off, even on some low cost comics. So this first stack is from there. So the first one is Kazar number 2, and it's got a great Daredevil cover there. 25 cents. It's a square bound. It's thick. It's in pretty good shape. And it's a fun story to read. And I found a Charlton comic, Space War. I think this is from 1961 with a great sci-fi cover on it. And a Dick Tracy. I love finding these old Harvey Dick Tracys. And this one's got some issues. It's low grade. It's got some tears in it, but presents really well. And it's got this really cool ad on the back cover. I put in one of those clear backing boards because I thought this ad on the back cover was cool to look at. And that's Dick Tracy number 55, Harvey Comics. And then I found this one. This is from ACG. This is Blazing West number 18. And I saw Night Tiger pick this one up recently. He has shown this one. And so I added it to my wish list because it's got that great train cover and, you know, the damsel in distress being rescued. It's such a great cover. And I threw it on my want list. And I found it there at this store. I wasn't looking for this in particular. I was just looking through all the boxes. And I came across this. And also, I left a clear backing board there too, because I thought that ad on the back looks kind of like military or Boy Scout kind of stuff. It was pretty cool. I found the way he had it organized was You had all the Marvel in one section, all the DC in another section, and then there was a section that had like Charlton, Gold Key, Romance, things like that. So when I got to the Charlton section, I found this issue of Haunted Love, number 6, and I was really surprised to find this. I have issue number 1 and one other issue, maybe number 7 or 8, but I rarely, of all the Charlton comics, I rarely see these Haunted Love comics. I was pretty happy to snag that one. And I found this. This was $1, and then it was like 30% off, so 70 cents. This is Monster Menace number 1. And this reprints monster stories from like Tales to Astonish and Strange Tales, those, early monster issues in Timely and Marvel and Atlas. And so I think there's like 5 or 6 early monster tales in here. Then I found something pretty unique, which was Sports Superstars John Elway. And when I was a kid, in the maybe 10 to 15 years old, before I really had like a football team that I was rooting for, I liked the Minnesota Vikings because of their helmet and they were purple. And I liked the Denver Broncos because of they were orange. And I've always been a big John Elway fan. Growing up, there were some great quarterbacks I watched, like John Elway and Dan Marino and Joe Theismann, a bunch of others. There's like just really some great quarterbacks, and he was a really good quarterback. So I thought this was really cool, and it says here in the purple, free collector cards, and they're in there. So that's even cooler too, that it's complete like that. I found this issue of Simpsons Comics number 18. And I liked it because I like this image of the perspective of looking through the legs of a character and seeing another character in the distance. And that's why I picked this up. But I think it was the very day that I picked this up, or the next day, on Instagram. One of the guys I follow is Kevin Taylor Comics, and he posted this. And his note with it said that this is an homage to a James Bond movie. I don't remember which one, but if I can find it, I'll drop it in right here next to it. So I thought that was cool too. And then I found this issue of Spidey Super Stories, issue number 19, the great Dr. Doom and Silver Surfer on the cover. And I'm trying to collect these. I've probably got about half. I think it went up to around issue 35 or 40. I've probably got probably about 15 of them already. And one of the things that you need to be aware of if you're collecting these is that this is issue number 19. I think it was with issue 18. It's somewhere around in the middle. Must have been 17, because there's a little stamp on the back of Dr. Doom. And it says number 3, doesn't it? So it must have been 17 where it started. But with it, they started having these stamps on the back. So when you're buying these, if the board's in there, and on the higher ones, you've got to ask them to pull it out so you could see if that stamp is there or not. I found another issue of Johnny Quest. This is issue number 26 from Comico. And I'm trying to put this run together. I really enjoy reading these. I love the art style and the adventure stories. And I've got nearly all of them. I only need maybe 5 or 6 more. And the 5 or 6 more I need, I can never find. I'm constantly finding Johnny Quest issues that I already have. It's tough to find the ones I don't have. There were probably about 7 or 8 at this store, and I went through all of them, and this was the only one I needed. And another thing about the Comico or Comico Johnny Quest comics is that they had wraparound covers. So they always have some cool artwork on the back. And this one looks like an SR-71 and a dinosaur there. What is that, a Triceratops, I think? And then back in the gold key section, I found a bunch of Scooby-Doos, and I never see Scooby-Doos. So I got like, I don't know, about 4 or 5 of these. This one is from the Clay Wilson collection. And Scooby-Doo, where are you?
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
There you see Scooby, Shaggy, and the Mummy chasing them. And then I've got Scooby-Doo Mystery Comics. So I think this was a different series because this one said Scooby-Doo, where are you? And this one says Scooby-Doo Mystery Comics. Nice underwater scene. This one must have been the earlier one because you could see that one was 15 cents. And then Scooby-Doo Mystery Comics is, what's the price on there? 25 cents. So here's another Scooby-Doo Mystery Comics. And this one is the Whitman variant. And the price is markered out there. I didn't notice that until I just showed you that. And here's another Scooby-Doo, where are you? And here's another Scooby-Doo, where are you? What else did I get? Some from the Charlton box. I got this issue of Ghostly Tales, number 96. This seller had quite a bit of Charlton. So I will be going back to this store. So if anyone's looking for, run fillers of any of these Charlton supernatural horror titles, he had a lot. It's just that I had a lot of them already. So this is Ghostly Tales number 96. And I picked up an issue of Geronimo Jones. I never see Geronimo Jones. I think I have 2 issues of Geronimo Jones. I'm pretty sure I have issue number 1. And then there was issue maybe number 6 or 7. It's got a really cool kind of like haunted house on the cover. And I never see this Geronimo Jones. I've got an issue of him like fighting a bear. So when I saw this Geronimo Jones in there, I snagged that. Some more of the horror, the Ghost Manor, number 12. And this is the art by, San-Ho Kim. See down there, Kim. He is a fantastic artist, and he did a lot of the covers on the Charlton Ghost Manor, the horror supernatural stuff at this time period. And really, he's got an amazing style. Still more Charlton. This is Yang number 12. And I've been trying to complete this run. And it was like the other one that I mentioned earlier, like Johnny Quest, where I only need a few. But I find it, like I find Johnny Quest and I find Yang, but they're always the ones I already have. So I finally found an issue that I didn't have. I love this cover with the yin yang symbol on it. All right, so that was all like digging around in the back in the less expensive comics, and then up near the cash register, I think he's got like 6, 2, 4, 6, maybe 8 short boxes full of the pricier stuff. And I found some cool stuff in there. I could not believe that I found this. This is Lobo number 2. And it hardly cost me anything with the 30% off. I think this maybe cost me like, $25 or something like that. Now, this is, there was only 2 issues in the series. I think I've mentioned this before. There were 2 issues in the series. This is issue number 2. This guy here is Lobo. And he was the first African-American title hero in comics. And so the series only ran 2 issues. There was a 3rd one planned. What happened was this came out in the 60s and racism was still very strong. And so this would get delivered to the newsstands and they just wouldn't put it out. And so many of the newsstands refused to sell it and they just sent them back as remaindered copies. So they wound up canceling this series before it got to number 3. And then it's kind of tough to find because a lot of the comics were destroyed. but that's logo number 2. I thought that was really cool. When I saw that, I got really excited. I found some pre-code horror. Here's Tales of Horror number 5, The Hand of Fate. And this is by Minoan Magazine. I think that might be part of Toby Press. It's a little faded, I think, because I've seen other pictures of this where the hands are a darker green, but it still looks great. And I thought that was really cool. So I snagged that. And then this was really cool. Millie the Model Annual number 7. And it's got some really cool 60s style hip clothing there, kind of mod paintings and everything of the time period. But one of the things that's really cool about this is instead of calling it a king size special, they call it a queen size special. So that's really cool. And it's in remarkably good shape. It's a square band cover. And a lot of time you can see the spine through here. This thing gets ripped off, but this is in remarkably great shape. So I snagged that one. And then I found a promo comic, which this is from the Connie W collection. And it's Tommy Looks at Farming. And this was by B.F. Goodrich. Yeah, B.F. Goodrich. It has a little, it's all newsprint, has a newsprint cover, probably about 8 or 10 pages. Tommy Looks at Farming. I love finding promo comics, so that was really exciting to dig that one out. And then I also got The Tomb of Dracula number 3. And this is in pretty low grade, you could see up here, but for the price, it was worth it because this has a first appearance of who's the vampire hunter? Van Helsing. And I think it's not Van Helsing. I think it's Elsie or Elsa Van Helsing, first appearance in here. So this one can go for a pretty penny, but because of the condition, I was able to add that to my collection at a low cost. And then this was a really cool Ziff Davis Golden Age comic I found. And this is Explorer Joe. And trying to see if it's got the number on it. I don't see it. I think it's number 1. And this was really cheap. This I found, I didn't find this in the boxes in the front. I got my stuff mixed here. This one I found in the back. And I think he had like maybe $5 or $6 on it. It wound up being like 30% off. So I got it for next to nothing. And it's really cool. The back cover has some nice artwork on it as well. And if I remember correctly, it was a 2-issue series. And it's got a little of issues here along the spine, some tears, but it's a great painted cover. Damsel in distress, redhead. And when I looked into this one goes for a little bit of money, like $60, $70. So that was a great score. And then I snagged this one. I think I got it. Yeah, same place. Romantic Adventures. And what's the number on it? Number 27. Romantic Adventures, number 27. And I loved the pink cover, but also, it's the troop train over there. So it's part of my train theme collection, even though there's no train on the cover. There was a troop train that they're waiting for. And that's an early Romantic Adventures, number 27. That's a pretty low number. All right. So two more from the same place. This was from the Charlton box, and this is something I had never heard of before. This is Mr. Muscles, and it's issue number 23. And I'd never heard this before, and then I was really surprised when I saw that it was issue number 23. So it had ran for a while, but it's a Charlton comic I had never heard before. And I said, why not? I'll snag that. That's pretty cool. I'll add that to my collection. And then the last one I got from this place was another promo comic. This one is from Mobile Gas and Oil, and it's the Sheriff of Cochise. And what's interesting about this is it says it's based on the famous television show. I never heard of this. I asked a few of the guys on the Four Color Fossils, and they hadn't heard of it either. But this was a promo comic from your mobile dealer. And you can see the little mobile symbol down there. And it's really cool. And one of the cool things about it is actually the back cover, because if you look on the back cover, it's got all of these styles of cars from the 50. I think this was from 1957. Yeah, 1957. And so these are all the cars from 1957. And then it tells you like what type of mobile gas that you should be using in each of the cars. So that was from Collect Company in Lebanon, Tennessee. That was the second place I went to. And so the first place I went to was Old Town Records and Comics in Gallatin, Tennessee. And I think I got some better comics there. That's why I put them second, even though I went there first. So digging through the boxes, I think I wound up getting 30% off there too. The guy there, Chris, who owns the store, super nice guy. I like talking to him. He goes to comic shows. Like this weekend, he's going up. He's in Indianapolis today at some Comic-Con up there. And hopefully next week he'll have some new stuff. But behind the cash register, he's got like 6 or 8 boxes of the better stuff and a lot of Golden Age stuff. So I was digging through them. He put a box up. I dig through. I found this comic book, and it's not one that I was looking for or would normally get, but it's in such amazing condition that I wanted to add it. So this is 4-color number 168, and it's Popeye. And when I saw this and I took it out and I looked at it, I think it was like $10, and then he gave me a big discount on it, 30%. The comic is like brand new. It's really amazing to me. And I've said this before, but when I find these old comics, I think this is from the 40s. I can't remember if it was 42 or 47, but somewhere in there. And when you find things that are that old and they look like they just came off the rack, it just blows my mind. So I was looking at this, and it does look like it's got a little bit of kind of like either sun fading or shadow along the edges. But as far as like the firmness of it, the flatness of it, attached to the staples, the non-rusting of the staples, this thing is amazing, and the colors are bright. And so also I like Popeye, so I snagged this one. And the back cover has more story on it, really cool from the time. This is by Bud Sagendorf. Who was the guy who originally drew Popeye, created Popeye, was E.C. Segar, Segar. And then this was like his apprentice. And then when Segar passed away, Sagendorf kept doing it. What else did I get from this place? Well, I got a Walt Disney's Hardy Boys. Big fan of the Hardy Boys. I loved watching the Hardy Boy TV show. I read all the books. The blue covered ones. My family would get me those for gifts. So I thought this was really cool. I snagged this. And then I found this another comic that was an amazing shape and Christmas cover, Little Iodine. And I purely just grabbed it because it's a Christmas cover that I could show on Christmas shows. And it's in really good shape, and it was really cheap. I think he had like $5 or $6 on it, and then I wound up giving me 30% off. So that was nothing to get that one. This one's really cool. This is Buster Crab, and I thought it was Charlton. When I saw this red corner up here, I thought it was Charlton, but it is not. And so I think there were 3 issues in this. This is Buster Crab. It's a 10-cent comic. This is issue number 4, actually. So I was wrong about 3. This is issue number 4. and it's a Lev Gleason publication. But that red triangle made me initially think it was Charlton. Cool cover. He's got the fishbowl helmet, and he's there in the fire. So that was really cool. And then check this out on the back of it. Look at this ad for this cigarette. Not cigarette, ashtray. Look at this ad for this ashtray. It looks like a little fireplace, and you put your cigarette in the fireplace when you're resting it there, and it goes through the chimney. And then on the left and right of the fireplace, you can stack up your matches and your cigarettes. I thought that was a really cool advertisement. Also, it reminded me of being a child. My grandparents smoked, my aunts and uncles smoked, my parents smoked, everybody smoked. They did it in the house. Anytime there was like a birthday party, um, everyone would be smoking. There was ashtrays all over the house, right? And anytime we went like on, family trips and you get souvenirs, they would always get like an ashtray. So we had all these ashtrays that said, this place and that place. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Um, what else? I got a few more books from this place. Here is Spotlight Comics #2. And I've seen Night Tiger show this one before. He had mentioned that he likes to get the covers where the heroes or the villains are gigantic, looking over the town. Kind of reminds me of like how Jack Kirby did Doctor Doom over the Fantastic Four. But that's Spotlight Comics #2. I think it was 2-issue series, so that would be the last issue of it. I got another issue of Dick Tracy by Harvey. This is Dick Tracy #66, and this is my favorite Dick Tracy cover. And it's the flames there, and he's trying to rescue Tess, right, with the flames, and then down here it tells you like how the fire started, right? It was like a trap. But I think it was Bub's Comics who showed a copy of this a couple of months ago, and I was like, oh, I want to get a copy of that. And so I finally found myself a copy. I got a pre-code horror called Mysterious Adventures. I have another issue of this. Yeah, there it is, Mysterious Adventures. And this one is #12, and it's Beat to Hell. So you can see it's missing half of the title up there. The book is complete. The front cover is destroyed like that. It's not attached, and there's no back cover. So I wound up paying $7 for this. I'm curious, would you? I think that's a steal. The stories in these are really great. The art's great. And of course, I would love to have a complete copy, but to have a copy like this, which is a super cool cover, right? And the art is there, right? I'm missing the Mysterious Adventures title up here, but the art is complete about that skull looking person, old lady. I love it. So I'm curious, would you pay $7 for that, or would you leave it behind? All right. This is the last one from this store, and this is the Maltese Falcon, but you can see down here it's part of the feature book. So that's feature book #48, and it tells the story of the Maltese Falcon. And again, it is really low grade. There's lots of tears to the cover, but these feature books I hardly ever see. So, and then the price was great with the discount and everything. So I snagged that. So that's it from those places that I was talking about. I had one more in the stack. This one I got a couple of weeks ago. I went up to see my son in Maryland, and on the way back, I stopped at in Knoxville. There's a place, I think it's called Nirvana Comics. They have a beautiful wall when you walk in. They're constantly putting some cool stuff up there, and they're super friendly, and they also deal with you on the prices. So I got this one, This is Thrilling Comics number 15, um, a very low number issue of Thrilling Comics. And so, great cover, fighting the Nazis. On Grand Comics Database or My Comic Shop, one of those two or both, it says that this is Alex Schoenberg, but it doesn't look like it to me. I don't think it is. And it's also not signed anywhere. It doesn't say Schoenberg or Zila. Can't find his name on here anywhere. So um, I don't think it is. And this one has a detached centerfold. And unfortunately, you know how like when the centerfold gets detached, it kind of like sticks out of the book and then it gets frayed on the edges. So someone cut off those frayed edges. So it's not the best, but it was a good price, and I love the cover. And it's just cool to have something so old and the Thrilling Comics, which are kind of tough to find. Nice redhead on there too. So that's one of my hauls. And what do you think? I asked you a couple of questions about some of the comics. Leave your comments below and let me know. Like, would you buy that Mysterious Adventures? And what do you think about this Thrilling Comics? You think that's Schoenberg? Or I have loads more comics, and I'll try to get some more videos to share them with you. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.